Everyone in the little town of Thorston, Virginia knew that there was something a bit off about Brock Nathan. Ever since he was known, people recall always seeing him with a jotter and a pen, and when they check, he'd be scribbling random numbers and equations. The rest of Brock's family were regular folks, and easily blended into the chitty chatter that was the essence of town life. But even when Brock was in their midst, he would be in one corner, solving his equations. "Something wrong with that Brock of yours," Mrs. Tamper once remarked to Brock's mom at a New Year's Eve get-together. "Always all alone with them pencils and papers, going all scribbly when he should be going after them ladies." "You let him be," replied Brock's indignant mum. Her son's habit of scribbling numbers when he should be socializing worried her, but she wasn't about to admit it to Mrs. Tamper, the town's chief gossip. When Brock finally got around to dating a gal, she broke up with him because he was more interested in scribbling numbers than in getting to know more about her. Once he followed his friends to go get tattoos, and while they were getting artworks painted on their arms, Brock painted a series of numbers that looked more like an incomplete equation. "What's it with you and them numbers?" they asked him. "I don't know," he replied. "Seems like they're here an equation my mind is looking to solve." They shook their heads and laughed at him, some even suggesting he was trying to invent a new number between numbers 8 and 9. So continued the trials and tribulations of Brock. Until one day, Montana Industries, the largest employer in Thorston, announced it was moving from town. The manager of the company's factory or plant in Thorston Factory stated that the factory was now a big liability, bringing in huge losses to the company. Hundreds of jobs were at stake. The mayor was sent to offer the company some concessions, but the manager flatly refused these incentives. One day, the townspeople heard that a team of executives from the regional headquarters of Montana Industries had come on visiting, and so they gathered in front of the company to beg the company not to leave. But the adamant factory manager reeled out figures showing that the Thorston branch was indeed the biggest loss bringer to Montana Industries and needed to be shut down for good. He smiled with glee as if he was gloating at the town's coming loss of jobs, even as he seemed a bit uneasy, sweating in the wintry snow. Brock was in the crowd with his jotter and pencil, but as the manager reeled out the figures, Brock suddenly sat upright with a jolt. The answer to the equation he had been searching for years had suddenly hit him as the manager reeled figures from the factory's audit, which with his quick mathematical mind Brock knew had to be false. He suddenly screamed and raised his hand for the microphone to be given to him. The people of the town murmured to Brock to put his hand down and not to embarrass the town at this crucial time. But the quiet frenzy of the people seemed to fuel an equal frenzy in the plant manager, who insisted that Brock should be given the microphone to speak. He believed Brock would embarrass the town in front of the regional executives and seal the town's fate. But when Brock got the microphone, he began to reel out his discoveries using the formula he has just discovered. And the regional executives seemed to sit up, listening to him with rapt attention. By the time Brock finished, the regional executives were smiling at him. The branch manager was furiously glaring at him, and the townspeople were looking at him with newfound awe. He had just exposed a major flaw in the accounting system of the factory that showed that it was, in fact, the most profitable factory in Montana Industries, not the least profitable. It turned out that the manager knew of this flaw, had capitalized on it to embezzle factory funds, and had been scheming to move the operations to another town where he could perfect his embezzlement of the company. Brock became an instant celebrity in the town. He was given an award by the mayor. The company opened a center for him to teach business executives his mathematical formula. Brock became world famous. The town renamed itself Math Brock in his honor, and Montana Industries expanded its operations in the town, employing even more people. The rejected stone had become the chief cornerstone.